Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Overlord Lord of Nazarick video. Now, in this video, we'll be going and showcasing a specific unit that is not yet in the game implemented for us to summon. Yes, she is already there on Cian, and she's a playable character. We're gonna go and showcase her without her arc light, sadly, because we don't have it in the game yet. But we're gonna go and talk about her and check out what we can do with it. And when she's released, she will be having some teammates that will help her on the team and what's the best build for her. And this is Nigredo. We're gonna talk about her. She's the oldest sister in the Albedo family. So we have Rubedo, the smallest one. Then we have Albedo, the middle sister. Then we have Nigredo, she's the older one. And she's imprisoned in the 5th floor. And then you're gonna go and help her out in the anime, in the story here. We're gonna go and do that. Even in the story, we did it live on stream. If you wanna check our stream or whenever we are gonna go and stream, check the link of the Discord in the description and it will notify you if you join our Discord. So now, in the story, we are at level 81. We finished the story, and as you see, she's here. She's the first boss that we're gonna go and attack, or the first one in the story. So we're gonna go and drop it. We're not gonna play. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna go inside and just showcase the skills and the abilities of her. Now, of course, you can check your enemies' abilities and skills and their buffs and everything about them. The first thing that you need to do, of course, it's not on auto. I'm gonna wait just for them to attack and do everything that they want. And you can click and hold on the unit, and you're gonna go and check them out. So that's Nigredo, and that's her basic attacks. Now, as we see, her speed is at 170. Now, we don't know if it is the best speed or if it's one of the best speed. She's super speedy. Now, we're not gonna talk about her speed specifically. We don't know if this is with her leveling, she's wearing gears, because they don't show us that. But depending on the speed that she has, if you're gonna go and check on the other enemies, they're lower on speed. She's higher on speed. It means she has high amount of speed. 170 is crazy, and we showcased her on a video on our stream. She was on 177 or something like that. She's a ranger type character. She's from the Sapphire. It means she's blue. You can counter her with Garnet family, which are red. That's great. Now, her attack looks great. She has a crit rate of 30, crit damage at 20, which is good. Decent, actually, defense and magical defense. It's okay, not that good, because it's better to have them up. Now, she doesn't have EP or ER. ER for resistance. EP is to inflict more debuffs, which are it's the gaze that she does, which is one of her best skills. We're gonna talk about her skills. First of all, we click on her skills. The 0 round, it means it's the first skill. This is the passive that she has. It's the dread. This is the second skill, and this is the third skill. So her first skill, or let's talk about her first skill. So swings the scissors to attack a single enemy target. Deals damage equal, not magical damage, but normal damage equal to 120% of her attack. 120 is a good multiplier. Hitting grants 100 base chance. The basic chance, it means you can counter basic chance with EP and ER. So the more ER that you have, or the more AR, it's the resistance, the effect resistance that you have. You're not gonna get the gaze. The more that she has, or you have EP on her, built on her, the more that she will inflict it, or it goes above 100%. To inflict gaze for 1 round. Now, gaze, which is one of the good mechanics, new mechanics in the game. A debuff that increases Nigredo's turn meter when the gaze targets acts. So it's when the enemy do an action, she will gain more turn meter, so she can bypass other enemies on if they're going back to back with their team, and she can start immediately. So this debuff cannot be purified, so you cannot dispel this debuff. It will last, it will hit on these enemies for the rounds that it's indicated for. So for here, it's for 1 round, and for other rounds, it's for 2 rounds or something like that, which is absolutely fantastic. It means even if you're slower than your enemies and you inflict gaze on them, and they start and they will gonna go ham and ham and ham, you have a chance to start with your unit if you can keep her alive, which is Nigredo, because she will gain more turn meter and she will bypass these other units. Now, her second skill, or her passive, which is the Dread Perception, detects enemy movement and exploit them. That's her passive is absolutely fantastic. So passively increase the crit rate, which we saw at 30%, and crit damage at 20%. This is without gears. This is just her basic skills, or her passive. So the more that you build her on crit rate, you'll have a higher chance to get crit. And crit damage, we know that the multiplier of crit damage is so high in this game, so you don't need to worry about crit damage. Crit rate is everything that you want. No, advantage. Advantage means you start with this at the start of the battle. So at the start of the battle, she will inflict gaze. So advantage takes effect immediately at the start of the battle, which is great. And as we said, gaze cannot be purified. So randomly inflict gaze upon one enemy for 2 rounds. One random enemy for 2 rounds. 2 rounds, you're gonna get gaze. It means whenever they're gonna act and do anything, if you're gonna go and play a unit that will let them act twice, such as, let's say, Pistonia with her ultimate, with her Arclight. She does the ultimate on them, and they're gonna go and act. So they start, Pistonia ultimate on them, they start again. That's 2 rounds. It means 2 turn meter buff on her, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, after the target with gaze acts, Nigredo turn meter increased by 15%. That's a huge thing. So gaze will give you a 15% boost in turn meter. So if they go twice, that's a 30%. That's absolutely, you're gonna bypass some unit on the lineup and you're gonna start with her again. So she's a unit that will go, she's a hyper unit that goes back to back with units that you inflict gaze. So if you hit with the first skill, if you get the turn meter 15 and you're gonna go and inflict gaze on somebody, you checked on your board who's next actually to attack, and you're gonna go and hit them with the first skill and they will get gaze on them. So when they act again, she's gonna get another 15% turn meter, which is great. Actually, you need to play in a strategic wise to do that. So her second skill, the deep attack, attacks a single enemy target with an enhanced debuffs. So deals damage and enhances debuffs. Deals damage equal to 140% of attack. That's really good. Upon hitting, has a 100% fixed chance. It means you cannot remove, it's not affected by ER or EP. That's inevitable, it will happen. To extend the duration of one debuff, no matter what it is, on the target for 1 round. Prioritizing control debuffs. It means stuns, silence, and charm or something like that. Now, gaze is not a control debuff, so it will not prioritize this. If they have stun, it will prioritize stun. If they have silence, it will prioritize silence. So keep that in mind. So this is a good lineup actually to work with somebody like, let's say, Enri's passive. When she stuns somebody, you can go and increase the stun duration. Or the taunt, if you want. Taunt is also a control effect with Albedo, Knight Albedo. You can go and if somebody is taunted, you're gonna go and hit them and increase the taunt for another round, which is great. Silence, even with Pistonia, she silences units, you can go and do that. Also a unit like Demiurge with his stuns. If he stuns a unit, she can go and absolutely increase the duration of the stun. It will give you an advantage on your team, but it will not inflict any gaze. So this will not inflict any gaze, and her passive does not say that it will inflict gaze when you hit a unit, but if you start the battle, you're gonna start with a gaze. Now, of course, with upgrading to higher levels, and when you get her to more stars, we're gonna check that different skills will give her more gaze, but it will not be shown here because we don't have it on global, and maybe they will change it because on the CN, they tend to not give us the same exact move set or the same multipliers, and they change them. So we're gonna have to wait until she drops actually in the game. But I'm just giving you a sneak peek so you understand her mechanic. And if you wanna save for somebody, I would say she's highly worth saving for, specifically if you want to go for a team that is based on control effects on stuns, taunt, and silences. Now, her ultimate, which is Cursed Stitch, tears apart the enemy with scissors, attacking the target and the characters to the left and the right of the target. It's a single target, but it's an AoE as well. So if you hit somebody in the middle with a single target, the right and the left will take damage, like a splash damage or a cleave damage as well. So deals damage equal to 90% of attack to the primary target, and deals damage equal to 135% of attack to the others. So that's an AoE in my dictionary, if you want to think about it. So basically, you're gonna hit something as 200% of attack and then something as 150 to the other units beside her. So her damages are absolutely insane. Now, hitting grants 100 basic chance, which we said you can decrease and increase with AP and ER, to inflict silence on the primary target for 1 round. So she also inflicts silence. So you can play a team with her and Pistonia and absolutely silence as many units as possible. And you can taunt, you can stun, you can do as much as you want with the lineups if you want that. So I would say Pistonia is a great unit to play with her. Knight Albedo is a great unit to play with her. So you have a perfect synergy with that. If you want to add somebody else as a damage dealer, I would highly suggest somebody like Demiurge, because he inflicts stuns as well, and you can go and capitalize on that because his stuns are based on stacks and on a chance, and it can be AoE, so you can pick more than one unit, so you can go and deal that. Absolutely a fantastic unit. I would highly suggest building her on EP. Why for EP? For the inflicting of the silence, for increasing the duration of, or she will increase the duration no matter what. As we said here on her passive, I think she will increase. She has an advantage. No, where is it? The fixed, upon hitting, there's a fixed chance to, her second skill, fixed chance to increase the debuff duration, which is great. So you don't need even to build her on AP, because the basic chance is 100%, which is absolutely huge. And you're gonna get some passive upgrading when you upgrade her with the EP. I would say one set that will be good on her, anything with crit nullifying, the Terminator set will be absolutely huge for her. As for units that you can play with her, I would highly suggest playing Pistonia. Pistonia is absolutely huge. Let me go and show you what does Pistonia do actually. Everybody knows that, but Pistonia with her arc light, if you have her arc light on her, she will reduce the cooldown of a primary unit, and she will advance them or give them turn meter. And with her ultimate here, as we see, with her skill that she says she will purify them if you have them at level 4, of course, and they will gain 100% turn meter, which will allow them to go more and more. Now with her passive, every time she heals a unit, she inflicts for them divine persuasion. When they attack a specific unit, they will inflict silence. So you can use that with her ultimate, or with her second skill. When you heal somebody, you can click on top of them and the passive will be granted. So she's a great unit because she buffs turn meter, which her mechanic Nigredo is upon turn meter, and she increases the duration of the debuffs, which means control effects the most, which means the silence, which she gives actually, and they do silence. So, and she's a healer slash buffer, which is great for Pistonia. Another unit, which is Albedo. Albedo with her skill, of course, with her taunt, she will taunt the enemies, which is great. And with her passive, she might taunt as well the units as well, if you have them really built. She's an absolute unit that can taunt, she can give shields and protect your unit, and it's called it's a control effect, which is actually the thing that you want to do with her, with a lineup with Nigredo. Another unit that I would love to play with her again, it's Demiurge. Demiurge, actually with his passive, if you inflict a lot of burns, he will go and stun units, which is absolutely fantastic on his second skill. 30% basic chance, it means with EP, building him on EP will help a lot, and you're gonna go and stun with an AoE attack because his second skill and his ultimate are all AoE. I didn't build him yet, I have him at 3 stars, but he's a future project that I will be happily using. You can use other units. Yuri works because she have a stun, whereas Yuri, this is Yuri with her ultimate, she can go and stun units. So with them having the stun, so basic chance 100% to stun a unit, which will be helpful as well because you can increase the duration of that, which will make her also a good tank to play with on that lineup. And that was it for our friend Nigredo. If she get dropped on global, I would actually go for her. She's a great unit. She's a ranger. She's a Sapphire, and we rarely see units from Sapphire shine as much as this with technicality and unique abilities. So I would highly suggest save a little bit. Maybe in the future you would like to build her. And yeah, that was it for the video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.